I grew up in a small town in central Texas. My dad worked for the Southern Pacific Railroad. He was an engineer. It was a normal childhood, you know. We didn't lock the doors, played Little League baseball. My mother wanted me to go to college. My dad, not so much, didn't matter. So I went out to Texas Tech. I went with the greatest of intentions to be an engineer because I thought that'd probably get me a job after I graduated. Worked part-time the whole time. For dry cleaners, if you have a suit you want cleaned, I think I could still do it. My last year I worked part-time for Southwestern Bell Telephone Company as a lineman and was fortunate to get on full-time with them as soon as I graduated. And about then I decided I really didn't want to be an engineer per se. I like dealing with people. I just progressed up through the ranks, went across all the jobs, installation, repair, central office, test centers, then went to be president of Kansas and CFO of Southwestern Bell and head of marketing and head of other ventures, and then became president. The industry at that time, you know, it was still mostly mechanical and electronic switching. It was mainly the normal telephone business as we think of it. There was talk of a mobile phone, but I thought it was common sense if somebody could come up with a device where you could talk anywhere, anytime to anybody, and the potential with that was terrific. And so we got into it quite heavily. A guy named John Kluge had the frequencies in, I think, Chicago and Boston and New York. We bought them from him. We had the franchise in Southwestern Bell. This is about 1990, a little before that, and set ourselves up to get in the wireless business big time. You know, it's just pretty obvious to me if this worked, this was going to be big. So we went after it big, and I became chairman, CEO. We talked about, you know, this can be nationwide, should be nationwide, is nationwide, and just talked our way through it. We wanted the network and we wanted the distribution. I was called a serial acquirer, which was sort of hurtful, but not really, because we had in focus to be the biggest telecommunications company in the world.
I would say his leadership style, it's very direct. He does not waste a lot of time making decisions. He can consume a lot of information and make the right decision about people, about process, but he really drives simplicity and focus around what is important.
But we continued to build places where we could be in the wireless business big. Eventually wound up, you know, with AT&T Wireless, Bell South, Southern New England, a lot of places. It seemed logical to me and to Dwayne Ackerman, who was the CEO of Bell South. We could put these two together, grab a lot more geography. We did a little name search and settled on Singular. Most people thought it sounded like an antibiotic. Then we bought Bell South. Singular went away, and we called everything AT&T. I got to be 66 years old and said, well, you've been at this 17 years, Ed. Maybe it's time for younger people to take over. When I retired, I gave a short try at teaching in a university. And then I got a call from the administration under President Obama that said, we're looking for somebody that has experience with big companies to bring General Motors out of bankruptcy. And we think you should look at this as a service to the country. Will you come do it? And I said yes.
Ed had a very large impact on me personally, and I think on General Motors. For me, it was really a driving culture change that I think was necessary, you know, at the time for General Motors to make big strides in changing the culture, changing the way we thought about the business, and really instilling the commitment and dedication to winning.
I'm pleased to get this honor. I'm pleased to have participated from the beginning to this point in the wireless business. I think it has a great future, and I hope we'll all stay after it to the benefit of America, you know.